Clean up in aisle 5. You're gonna need tear gas, pepper spray, and assault gear just to listen to this show.
Sasquatch, the moon landing, UFOs, 9/11, flat earth, JFK. All of these things have one thing in common: unanswered questions. So let's get to the bottom of that.
Now here's something completely random.
Animals in action, animals in action.
Random.
We using that in the intro?
Thank you and good night.
Dice Man Enterprises exclusively presents a talk show that will get to the bottom of things once and for all. And now here's your host for Let's Get to the Bottom of That, a bunch of weirdos on a mic.
Yep. Here's the weirdos. Welcome into another episode. Let's get to the bottom of that. Get it, Curtis. Go.
Crossing the windows.
Drive it, turn it, shift it, run it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. These windows are squeaky clean. Oh, my God.
Welcome into another episode. If you've clicked on the play button on Spotify, you know exactly where you are. Let's get to the bottom of that. And today we're getting to the bottom of the Oklahoma City bombing.
Oh.
Which I've heard a lot of people talk about this subject. I've never really, we did 9/11 in our early days, part 1 and 2. Oklahoma City was just kind of never on the radar, but I thought it was something interesting to bring to the table because it has its own controversy with it. Of course, with every official story that we get on this show, there's always some kind of questioning of the official story.
Whatever, man. I think the government's batting 1,000, telling us the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Oh, you think? That's good.
That was my joke for the day.
Yeah, I wonder if I should. Yeah, I wonder. When's the taxes going to stop?
Taxes?
Yeah.
Well, you just decide not to pay them. See how that goes.
I mean, will eventually IRS come to the door?
Well, that's what they say. I don't know.
I heard
You know
it's
what's
only
ticking
for
me
rich
off?
people.
What's ticking me off is
Buttered sausage.
buttered sausage. I don't live in Kansas City proper, but I still have to pay income tax when I make money in Kansas City. That sounds like taxation without representation to me, because I don't get to vote in Kansas City.
Wait a minute.
Even though I pay taxes there.
When you work in Kansas?
Yeah. Kansas City, Missouri, specifically.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And they want like $800 from me for me making money in their city.
Oh, that doesn't sound right.
No.
Sounds like somebody's a crook.
And I don't get to vote there. I don't get any say over the silly policies they make.
where your taxes going?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't get any say. They just want my money. Anyway.
That's really all they ever wanted.
But on a lighter note, I'm wearing a new hat today. Check it out.
Hey, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Maybe we can go in. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. There's nobody here but me and Curtis.
Everybody's here.
Me and Curtis is the only one here. I'll go ahead and
Spirit.
flash over the.
Jason's
There's
not
just
here.
nobody
Joey's
here.
Not here.
So we're holding down the fort, and that'll give us a good opportunity to go over some stories that you just got back from Ireland.
I sure did.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
go ahead and talk to me about this hat.
So this is, I don't know if you can read it. It says Leo Burdock's. It's a fish and chip place. Actually, right here it says the real reasons the Vikings came to Ireland. So basically, it's a fish and chip place. If you guys are in Ireland, suggest to go to it. They have a little satellite store in Temple Bar, right across the Halfpenny Bridge, through the archway. It's right there. It's a pedestrianized kind of cobblestone street. It's really, really cool. Good fish and chips. And then there's another, the original one is over by Christchurch.
Oh, wow.
So I had this last time I was in Ireland, and I took
Oh, so this isn't your first trip?
No.
Okay.
No, and then, but yeah, it was John Byrne of the John Byrne Band wanted to shout him out. We went on a tour with him and his and his band with Andy Keenan, Mara, and Rob. And we got to listen to amazing music the whole time, and and got to see some really cool stuff, learn a lot of history, and just see the sights. It's pretty cool. I also want to shout out Chris Baldini. When I was talking about the podcast to some of the people we were traveling with, he pulls it up, and he's like, "Oh, I'm already halfway through an episode." So, Chris, thank you for the watch already. So, yeah.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So where was Chris from?
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, Philly. So
Yeah, we got some Philly listeners.
Philly listeners. Obviously, I did buy a Philly hat. Didn't bring it today. It's a little too close to the Super Bowl for me to wear a Philly hat. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just kidding. It's fine. But yeah.
So this was your second trip?
Second trip.
Second trip to Ireland?
I went with my dad in 2017 to Ireland and to Germany, but we followed this John Byrne band, which is really cool. They set up a deal with his followers, his fans, where we all fly over together. We get on a bus, and then Simon is the bus driver. Great guy, Simon. Shout out to you as well. He drives this 40-foot bus in these tiny little narrow areas and gets us to and from without any issues. Handles all the logistics and everything. It's really cool. And we get to stay, like this time we stayed in Lahinch, Dingle, Kinsale, and Dublin. And then we saw a bunch of different things like Kilkenny Castle. We went to, not Kildare, it was Killarney to go see the national park there. Okay. And we took like a horse cart through the national parks. It was just gorgeous. And got to do a lot of stuff. Doolin Cave up in Doolin. We saw the Cliffs of Moher.
Cliffs of Moher.
Yeah,
okay.
And then Innismore, which is there's these isles called the Aran Isles off the west coast of Ireland. And we went to the furthest west one, went and saw a ring fort up there. Got to get some amazing pictures of the cliffs and stuff.
Wow.
And the Cliffs of
Moher. I saw
Moher,
some of the pictures in our Discord. It was it was awesome.
But the Cliffs of Moher are actually where the Cliffs of Insanity from Princess Bride were filmed.
Oh, really?
So,
that one? Okay.
Yeah, so there's some really cool stuff.
Cliffs
there.
of Despair.
Yeah.
So the first time you went with your dad?
Yeah.
So was your family there the first time, or you brought your whole family this time?
No, my wife and my sister didn't get to go, so I brought my wife and my sister this time.
Okay.
Because, they didn't get that trip, so.
Yeah.
Me and my dad had a good time, though. Yeah.
How's the flight? How many hours? Is that
it's like 6.5 hours, something like that. And if you
6.5,
yeah, if you go over there, I
bad.
suggest upgrading because man, American they cram you like sardines for 6.5 hour flight. It's like I get really claustrophobic.
That's less than driving to Disney.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Right here.
So I think you drive to Disney, it's like 22 hours. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You have to stop off and stay somewhere.
But if you fly there, it's only like 4 hours. But
yeah, I know. Hey, the question of the week this week is: what mythical creature has never been spotted in North America?
okay.
The Wendigo, a dragon, the Loch Ness monster, or the Rougarou?
What's a Rougarou?
That's a good question.
I think
That is your question of the week. So
I think it's a dragon.
So if you want to go vote for that, go vote your heart's content. Heart's content? Just go vote your heart out. Today we're going to go over the Oklahoma City bombing. So let's just dive in and get this out of the way.
I was 10 when this happened.
Let's see. When was this?
I wasn't quite 10.
1995?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got out of the Navy in 95. So this is this actually has bewildered authorities for a long time. They've been struggling to find a motive behind this violence, okay? Mm-hmm. So suggestions of some of the motives behind it was vengeance for the Waco siege.
Okay.
So we did a show on Waco here, and basically the ATF I call it a botched job because they killed a lot of people, which didn't have to be killed. So there was revenge for that, and there was also an elaborate anti-Bill Clinton plot that was going on in the background. So there was in 1995 in a video lecture entitled "America in Peril," a former Army Intelligence Analyst, Mark Koernke, stated that the United Nations had launched an invasion in the U.S., claiming that UN troops were pouring into the U.S., and they were hiding in secret military bases. So that's where this guy was like, oh, you want to turn that off?
Is that too loud?
I don't know. I mean, if it's going to get hot in there, might as well leave it. But
Okay, let's leave it.
if it's too loud, it's too loud. We got an AC unit going in the background.
All right, UN troops. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt you.
Oh, yeah, they're hiding in secret bases. And the headquarters of these secret bases, guess what? One of them is Oklahoma. Oh, by the way, here's a funny story. When my son was younger, maybe younger than 10, we would visit, because my daughter went to Tulsa Bible Training Center in Tulsa, and we would say, hey, we're going to Oklahoma. And he called it Uncle Homo. Are we going to Uncle Homo? Yes, we are.
Kids say that.
Anyway, so the headquarters of these secret bases, there was also secret bases. Koernke also claimed that urban street gangs were being trained, equipped, and uniformed. So this guy had this very vivid, I don't know if this is true or not, but he thought UN troops were invading us. They're coming in. They're hiding out these bases. So we got to do something about it, right? So according to Koernke, the United States were set to be abolished. So they thought this is over.
Yeah.
They're taking us over. We're going down. We're being invaded. And we're going to be divided into 10 regions under the iron fist of the UN. So the UN was going to be the dude to take over and kind of have that global sensation of taking over.
Like one world government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The UN troops intended to lock up U.S. citizens in 43 detention camps located throughout the nation. He added that the processing center for the detainees in the western half of the United States is in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
So he's like zeroed in on the Oklahoma City because of he was scared that UN troops, this never happened.
Right.
So I don't know where he got all this intel.
Yeah.
But he was, that was one of the things that he thought, that Oklahoma City was a part of the invasion. Newspapers reported that the executed bomber, Timothy James McVeigh, probably heard that name before, was one of several bodyguards for Koernke. So that's where we get the tie-in with this other guy thinking the UN's coming in and invading us. Okay. He was a bodyguard for him at a Florida appearance. Now, if McVeigh and his co-conspirators were close to Koernke, as the press would have it, it seems possible that the Oklahoma City bombing was meant to be a lethal blow to the supposed UN plot to lock up Americans.
Wow.
So he was like, if we do this, this is a great launching pad to start locking up Americans if we blow up this, blow up the
It'd put a pause in their plans.
In any case, it is perhaps difficult to believe that McVeigh and Terry Nichols, the other man convicted of the bombing, and I'm going to get to who Nichols is in a minute, were capable of organizing such an enormous act of terrorism by themselves. So on just the face of this, you got two guys that orchestrated half of this. I don't know if you can pull up pictures, but half of the building,
I remember
the front
seeing
half
it.
is gone.
It was like that,
Just gone.
Collapsed in,
Yeah, just completely destroyed. Where was I?
Where would they have gotten?
Yeah, where would they have gotten so much fertilizer and racing car fuel from, and wouldn't it have raised suspicions when they bought them?
Yeah.
So
what was the
to
idea?
build the bomb,
didn't they pull up in like a U-Haul van? Mm-hmm. And then they had all this stuff mixed in the back, kind of like
that's right,
Fight Club style.
Yeah. So they had all this stuff there, and it's like, if you bought all this stuff, where were the red flags?
Okay.
If this was the actual official story. All right. So again, what would motivate two men to carry out such an atrocity of this scale? Surely not simply the anti-government message that they were accused of sending. So they're like, is that it? Just, hey, I'm anti-government. Let me blow up one of your buildings and Bob's your uncle? Because that really didn't do anything.
Yeah, that's really
If that's your statement.
yeah. If anything, it galvanizes the government and the people.
Yeah.
That they were trying to turn their minds to. It makes the government the martyr.
Oh, absolutely.
Almost. Yeah.
So many people point to the examination of the blast site, and specifically the damage the building suffered. Several reports, including one independent report carried out in 1997, suggest there must have been supplementary explosives within the building for it to collapse the way it did.
Yeah.
So not just a U-Haul. That is kind of suspicious to think about if you had a U-Haul, just one U-Haul pulling in
Yeah.
and taking the half of the building away.
Now the building, if I remember the pictures right, it was kind of like concave. It was almost like a like a shield almost.
Like one side, if you walk to the back of it, it looked like it was normal. You wouldn't even know it had an explosion in it.
But I know that my grandfather was demolitions expert in the Army, and my dad would tell me stories that he would say, like when they would put like plastic or whatever inside a wine bottle. You know how the wine bottle has the conical thing in the very bottom of it?
Yeah.
And then they would stick it to the side of a tank and then light the fuse, and then it would blow because of the conical shape of the glass. It would direct all that force into it, right?
Right,
So
yeah.
you could imagine, though, then if that blast hit the building and it was a conical shaped building, concave kind of building front, I could imagine some of the detonation would harm.
Cause that type of damage?
I don't know though that it would be that structural. I'm not an explosive expert or anything like that. But if you are an explosive expert and you've researched this, and then get back to us on Discord for sure.
Yeah, please. Yeah, leave a comment below. They say the truck bomb alone would not have been sufficient to cause the structural damage on the scale that occurred.
Who's they?
That's what they're saying. Theorist.
Theorists. Okay.
Conspiracy
Not
theorist.
the official.
Yeah, people are just saying, hey, there's no way that this damage could have been caused by that one bomb.
So it's like a Building 7 kind of situation. Right? In New York?
Yeah, don't get me started.
Where you're like, the building collapsed down. How did that building
Fell on its own footprint.
Yeah.
It free fall stop.
and then it caused Building 7 to collapse?
Yeah, and it was by fire.
Yeah.
Which has never happened before, nor after. Ever.
Yeah.
So you got that. Going on. Let's see here. Analysis of nearby seismographs suggests that there were two tremors, which theorists claim proves the presence of another device already set up in the building.
Okay.
So that's where they're claiming from the official story. They're saying there was explosives already somewhere in the building that helped set this off.
What was the building occupied at the time? Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll go into the deaths in a minute because there was a lot of deaths. This alleged prior installation of a secondary device points to inside knowledge and suggests that there were more than just two men involved, like McVeigh and Nichols. Yeah. Security cameras were also in the area cut shortly before the event.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
It's like
why does
from
this
other
stuff
buildings?
Why does this stuff always happen like this?
I don't know. That's weird.
It's like, and then it's like, okay, y'all are questioning it, but like, why does anybody go? Yeah, that is weird. The cameras are cut. Security cameras. Well, because you didn't
just in time to catch the blast.
Yeah, you didn't want to see that. Yeah.
So would it be if it was a like a demolition charge set up in the building, then you wouldn't want that blast to be caught. But it says it was enough to catch the blast.
Yeah.
So if it was perfectly timed, the blast out front would cover the demolition blast.
Yes.
So what's the motive? That's what.
Well, I'll give you the official story motive.
Okay.
And this is what you were talking about.
Should we do some context before we get?
You got some context real quick?
Yeah. Okay, so the key political context behind this in '93, we
And
had
this could be motive what you're talking about, right?
you mentioned the Waco Siege, the 51-day standoff between the FBI and the Branch Davidians religious group in Waco, Texas, ended in a catastrophic fire and 76 deaths. McVeigh already was distrustful of the federal government, was outraged by what he saw in the government overreach and brutality. He visited Waco during the siege and told anti-government bumper stickers and sold anti-government bumper stickers at gun shows.
Huh. I didn't know that. He actually went to Waco.
This is ChatGPT. So,
I love chat.
I love chat. Ruby Ridge was in 1992. It was a confrontation in Idaho between federal agents and Randy Weaver, a survivalist with white separatist leanings. The incident resulted in the deaths of Weaver's wife and son, stoking fears of government tyranny among militia and far-right groups. Okay. 3, militia movement surge. The early 1990s saw a rapid expansion of paramilitary patriot groups suspicious of federal power, particularly after gun control legislation and violent standoffs. McVeigh was influenced by right-wing conspiracy theories, including fears that the government was preparing to impose martial law. Okay.
Yeah.
So that would go in
Kind of
with these
time with
camps,
the UN
right?
thing.
Yeah. The Brady Bill in 1993 and assault weapons ban in 1994 were seen by gun rights activists as infringements on Second Amendment rights. These laws galvanized opposition among libertarian and far-right circles, including McVeigh. And then the Turner Diaries. McVeigh was heavily inspired by the racist anti-government novel that depicts a fictional bombing of the FBI building and a violent revolution against U.S. government. He reportedly had pages of the book in his car during his arrest. Okay. And then number 6 was date symbolism. McVeigh chose April 19th for the bombing deliberately. It was both the second anniversary of Waco and the Battle of Lexington and Concord in 1775, symbolizing the start of armed resistance against tyranny. McVeigh stated that the bombing was a retaliation against the federal government for Waco and Ruby Ridge. He believed the attack would spark popular uprising or a rethinking of federal power. In interviews, he described himself as a soldier in a necessary war against a tyrannical regime. So the bombing shocked the U.S. and led to the Anti-Terrorism and Effective Death Penalty Act in 1996. It increased scrutiny and crackdowns on militia groups, tighter federal building security protocols, and it also led to more discussion about the domestic extremism though in the post-9/11 years, focus shifted towards foreign terrorism.
Right.
So, I think if
you had some quotes right there from McVeigh.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said in his interviews. It didn't quote him, but it said what he said. So he was a soldier in a necessary war.
Well, I'm just saying.
War,
He's admitted to buying this bomb.
Yeah.
And blowing this bomb up for hoping to have an uprise.
Yeah, but it kind of had an opposite effect from, if you really wanted the ability to fight the federal government, wouldn't you want to stay quiet?
It seems it backfired.
It backfired.
Because they tamped down a little more. They restricted more.
So that leads me to believe if he was such a soldier, either he was a grunt, didn't know what the heck he was doing, or this could be an agent provocateur kind of thing, like where you send in somebody to, well, you saw this during the J6 stuff.
Yeah.
Where somebody was banging on the doors and hyping the whole crowd up, and then they kind of went back and then changed their clothes and walked back out of the scene. And you're like, okay.
Plants.
Yeah.
The Brady Handgun Violence Prevention Act, what you mentioned was the Brady bill. This is a law imposed as an interim measure, a waiting period of 5 days before a licensed importer, manufacturer, or dealer may sell, deliver, or transfer a handgun to an unlicensed individual.
Yeah.
So 5 days? What if I was licensed? I can get it before 5 days?
Well, you have to get your FFL license and stuff, but now the way it happens is you go into a gun store and they do an FFL transfer or an FFL check, and you sign this paperwork, and it's a federal crime to lie on this paperwork, and it's like, are you an illegal alien? Have you rejected your U.S. citizenship? Are you addicted to, to meth or any kind of controlled substances? And have you been, one of the questions is, have you been deemed mentally defective? Because they don't want crazy people purchasing handguns. And
Right.
stuff. So, when you go in, you sign this thing, you say everything that I've said on here is truthful to my knowledge, and then they call the FBI immediately, and then the FBI gives you a thumbs up or thumbs down whether you can buy that weapon, and you can actually walk out of it that day. Now that's in Missouri.
Now that's if you have all that information.
Yeah.
If you're unlicensed, you have to wait 5 days, which they're checking anyway, right?
And I guess, are they considering that FFL paperwork a license? So, yeah.
It's a good question. Anyway, so that's one of the things that he was stating, that I'm blowing this building up. So they found rubble. In the rubble, here's what they found. So you mentioned a U-Haul earlier. Now, I don't know if it was a U-Haul. Actually, I do know. It was a Ryder rental.
Oh, yeah,
A
Ryder.
Ryder truck. So they found in the rubble an axle from that truck with a VIN number on it.
Yeah.
So it was a Ryder truck traced to a rental agency, and guess where?
Where?
Kansas.
Oh, boy.
The person who rented the truck had given a false name but listed his home address as a farmhouse in Michigan, belonging to a James Nichols.
Okay.
James' brother Terry Nichols was a friend of Timothy McVeigh from their time in the Army. So you got Terry Nichols' brother gave a fake name to rent a vehicle, and the agency was in Kansas.
Okay.
That's wild.
Can I interrupt you really quick?
Yeah.
So the Brady Act of 1993 mandates a background check for firearms purchases from federally licensed dealers. That's the FFL.
Okay.
Originally, a 5-day waiting period was required while checks were manually processed. In 1998, the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, or the NICS, went into effect, replacing the 5-day waiting period for most states.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So that's basically it's the 5-day bill from Brady.
Yeah, because technology caught up to where they could instantly process it.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh,
you.
no worries. Yeah, it's all about I interrupt all the time on this show.
Wow.
Upon hearing this on the news, Terry Nichols turned himself in to the Harrington, Kansas Police Department.
Wow. Okay.
That's kind of just hearing about the bombing. 24 hours later, McVeigh was arrested. So, that being said, that's kind of the official story. So, questioning the official story is kind of what we do on this show. It's nothing new here. So, the first question is that this first and probably only question is directed to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms.
Okay.
Which that agency, why did you get all those together?
Yeah.
Do those go together?
No. Tobacco? I mean,
Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms.
I guess so.
Maybe they're like, these three shouldn't go together, so let's build an organization.
30 years later, though, like, if you think about it, I don't know when the ATF was instilled, but, like, you had in the 1920s, alcohol and firearms
the Prohibition
were huge. I don't know when the ATF was instilled, but tobacco, like, it seems a weird thing, but 30 years later, we're dealing with, like, fentanyl and meth and, what's that drug in the Northwest that's making people into zombies?
Flocka?
Flocka?
Yeah.
Wasn't that from a show? That was from...
No, there's a show where they take Flocka, and they're, like, on the streets, and they're, like,
yeah.
zombieing
I think
out.
that was Baywatch.
What?
I think it was Baywatch.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I thought that was
the
an
name of the
actual drug.
I don't
Flocka
know.
Waka.
Ooh, Flocka. Yeah.
So that's what we're questioning today is the ATF. Because here's the thing. The ATF is the one that did the raid on the Branch Davidians.
Okay.
Which, okay, I get it. They had firearms. But that's just a strange organization to run around acting kind of like the FBI.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're full SWAT gear, full TAC gear, but I get the firearm thing, but other than that, it's like, Are y'all rating Barnes that's got tobacco in it?
Okay, here's a little timeline
Oh,
of
you
the
guys-
ATF's origin.
Oh, here we go.
The federal government in 1791.
What?
Federal government first taxed distilled spirits, sparking the Whiskey Rebellion. This marked the beginning of the federal alcohol regulation. In 1862, during the Civil War, President Lincoln created the Office of Internal Revenue, which included a division to collect alcohol and tobacco taxes, the earliest ancestor of the ATF. 1920 to 1933, during Prohibition, federal agents focused on illegal alcohol, forming the Prohibition Unit, Unit, later becoming the part of the IRS Alcohol Tax Unit. From 1930 to 1960, the agency began to enforce firearms laws, especially after the National Firearms Act of 1934 and Gun Control Act of 1968. In 1972, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, this is 1972, was officially established as a separate bureau under the Department of Treasury. So they're to collect taxes and stuff from these three things.
You're kidding me right
So
now.
after the Homeland Security Act of 2002, the ATF was moved to the Department of Justice, and its name was updated to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives. So
ATFE.
yep, officially founded in 1972. So
Oh wow!
But-
But you went way back to 1700s.
1791.
My
yeah.
gosh!
So
So basically, it started out as I'm taxing things, and now we're like actually enforcing laws
Yeah.
that people are breaking
well,
because of
when I go to
firearm
when I
acts or
go to
whatever.
a tobacconist or something like that, they're always talking about like the new tax that's gonna make your cigars more expensive or make it harder to get certain brands of that kind of stuff. Especially with like the embargo on Cuba and stuff like that. Everybody wants Cuban, so you got to go to Mexico to
Yeah,
get them or
everybody wants the
something like that.
Cuban.
Yeah, and they really are really good cigars, but they, is it worth all the hubbub about it?
Are
But
they
yes,
legal?
They're legal to have now, thanks to Obama. But you can't, like, the stores can't sell them here.
Really?
Yeah, you can bring them back
Why were they illegal though?
because Cuba was a poopy head and aimed missiles at us, stuff like
That's
that.
it. Just
It goes back to the Spanish-American War, like when we told Spain that we would not attack Cuba, and then we attacked every one of their other holdings instead, like Manila and the Guam, and like that's where we picked up those things.
attack you, but
Yeah, so like we were not. Yeah, sure, we won't attack Cuba. We're going to take everything else you own, and it was like really a first spark of American imperialism, I think. I can't remember the date on that, but it was before World War II, and it was, again, you question the narrative. There was a ship that exploded that a bunch of people died on, and then it's questioned whether or not that was just
was that an accident?
Was it an accident?
Yeah.
Was it purposely exploded? Was it just so we could spark this off? That kind of thing. So anyway,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
getting way
happened
into the
before.
weeds here. So yeah,
No, we like weeds.
Weeds?
It's happened
We like
before
weeds,
though.
yeah.
No, I was just curious about the tobacco. Why
yeah.
it was, especially the Cuban cigars? Why is it so?
and I think the
taboo
government's
and
like,
illegal.
well, it's bad. Like tobacco is technically bad for the health of the nation, and so
Yeah.
is alcohol, and firearms misused are bad for the nation. So it's there's this
You got to regulate it.
there's this balance that we have to have between. Do you want, like, there's a lot of wackos on the street that I don't want toting around a firearm,
Right.
but at the same
Like
time, when you legislate something, it only hurts the people who are willing to follow that legislation, and so
Because the people that
yeah,
were wackos already are still not going to.
yeah, they're not gonna, especially criminals, like, especially we talked about on the last episode, a lot of organized crime, or not the last episode, the first one that we recorded today, a lot of organized crime, in Chicago, and stuff like that. Like those people are all toting weapons, and the typical person can't defend themselves against that.
Yeah. And they're supposedly banned in Chicago.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of studies been done. Like when you ban weapons completely, it's the criminals who have them,
Who's
and crime goes up.
Right.
Unless you can ban it on a national scale, and I don't think it's possible to do in a country as large as the United States.
Not as many guns we got.
Yeah.
No.
You know, and
Just think about Texas.
somewhere like, you know, we were in Ireland, and Ireland, you know, they don't have guns over there, and
The
you know,
citizens?
yeah, and so I think like the farmers will have like a rifle or something like that,
okay.
but most people, you know, they're not toting handguns and stuff like that. But I was on my way back from a session that we were visiting, and we were walking back to the hotel, and this guy was like, "Oh, you look like a big bloke. You come over here and fight me." And I was like, "No, I'm good, man. Thanks." And he's like, "Oh, come on. It'll be 2 hits. I'm going to hit you and you're going to hit the water," because he was standing right next to the ocean.
What?
And I was like, "I'm all good." And he called me a wuss, and I'm like, "Yeah, probably. I'll see you later. Have a good night, you know, whatever."
Are you serious?
Yeah. And
He was serious?
He was serious. He was mean drunk, I guess. But
Oh.
anyway, it was just it was comical to me. But then, you know, something somebody said to me was like, "Well, he wouldn't have had a gun." I'm like, "Okay, cool." But, you know, still not going to go fight somebody. You know, you don't insert yourself into a
Wow, I
situation.
wonder if that happens all the time over there.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Let's just get in a fight.
I don't think so.
Let's just
it was
see what
weird-
happens.
It was a weird night. So it was a weird night. Anyway.
So anyway, the ATF, they did the Branch Davidians. Guess what? Oklahoma City office of the ATF was located in the Murrah building. That's the name of the building that was blown up. And that was the supposed target. They were actually, that's the official, unofficial, they were targeting the ATF because they were in that building. Yet, if they were targeting, there were no agents killed or seriously wounded
Okay.
that was in the ATF.
Yeah.
So, was the ATF office empty that morning? Yes, it was. I'll go ahead and tell you, it was empty.
It was empty.
Yeah, let's go into why. So there was a segment that aired on the local news, KFOR Channel 4. You can probably find it on YouTube if you want to fact check me. They interviewed a man who had contacted the ATF. So he called their office. He was looking for his wife because she worked in the building.
Okay.
And he was like, "Hey, I need to speak to an ATF officer who worked in the building." So he could find out if anything he knew about the whereabouts of my wife.
Okay.
The ATF agent told him that none of them had been in the building that morning
Okay.
because they had been tipped by their pagers that morning not to come into work.
Oh. Okay. So he called KFOR Channel 4.
Well, they were interviewing him.
They were interviewing him.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were interviewing this man that stated this information.
Oh, he didn't call the news channel. He was being interviewed by the news channel.
Right, and
But
he
had contacted the ATF looking for his wife. Okay, got
yes,
it. Got
and
it.
the ATF said we weren't in the building. We were tipped by our pagers not to come into work today. But the ATF told several different stories to explain agents' curious absences. The most fantastic story was that 2 agents were inside the building and were kind of heroes that day. So let's talk about ATF agent Luke Franey. He claimed that he was knocked unconscious by the blast, and after an aborted helicopter rescue, he crawled onto an outside ledge to escape his office, and then reported that he used his martial arts skills to break through several walls, and he injured his hand.
Well, he's not a very good martial artist. if he injured his hand.
So that was Luke's story. So he came in forth and said, "Yeah, I was in the building."
Luke, don't punch me if you hear this.
Yeah, punch through the walls. There was also an agent called Alex McCauley. He claimed he was in an elevator at the time of the bombing. So when the bomb went off, I'm inside the elevator.
Yeah.
And he stated that the elevator free-falled for 5 floors. When it finally stopped, he broke out and he rescued several people.
That's
Okay.
50 feet. In
So,
an elevator
oh, is
that-
it? Oh, good.
Well,
That's
well,
good on the
most-
math there, bro.
Well, if you think about it, each floor is
That's
probably
true.
10 feet tall, if not more. You know, and then you free fall for 5 in a thing that's way heavier than you. So you've got G forces on top of that.
So
and
you're going to
then
be...
you might be floating, and then
Yeah.
you slam the bottom and you don't break any legs or nothing.
No. And then you get out and rescue some people. Okay, so that's Alex McCauley. So this is the only 2 agents actually that came forward and said they were in the building.
That's crazy. If that's true, that's crazy.
So, well, let's see how their story pans out. There was an elevator mechanic. His name's Oscar Johnson. Now, he worked for the building. He was the mechanic for the elevators. he stated that his crews were working on the Murray building the day of the bombing. So immediately after the bombing, so it blew up, they called him on the radio. They called Oscar and said, go into the building and assist people inside the building because the fire department hadn't even gotten to the scene yet. So they wanted him and his crew to go check all the elevators to make sure they were clear and didn't have people in them. Okay? Upon doing so, he observed how bad the damage was, and none of the elevators went into a free fall because the governor overspeeds were not tripped.
Yeah.
So this is coming from a mechanic that knows about how the elevators operate. And there's apparently a governor overspeed that does not get tripped, which causes the elevator not to go into a free fall. So this already debunks Alex McCauley's claim that he free-falled.
Yeah.
And he said he was in one of the elevators. So it gets a little more sketchy. Oscar stated that it was McCauley who indicated that he was trapped in an elevator. But once Oscar got the FEMA report that showed which elevator McCauley was in, Oscar stated there's no possible way that he could have been in that elevator because his men checked it. It was still locked from the top, and the wall had caved in against the doors between the floors. So he couldn't have got out of there without assistance.
Okay, so I just checked to see. Okay, you had mentioned elevator and free fall. Mm-hmm. And yeah, there's an overspeed governor, so a speed sensing device. When it moves too fast, it triggers the safety brakes. This device is separate from the motor control system, adding a layer of fail-safe protection. Located on the elevator car itself, if triggered by the overspeed governor, jaws or roller grips guide the guide rails, halting the elevator. It can bring a fully loaded car to a stop quickly and safely. Most elevators are counterweighted, so it's not just a car hanging by a cable. They use multiple high-strength steel cables, each capable of holding an entire elevator load on its own. They're unlikely to all fail at once. And then the electromechanical brakes on the motor, when power is lost, spring-loaded brakes on the drive motor engage. They prevent the elevator from moving unexpectedly. So you would think all of those systems would have to fail simultaneously for him to free fall 5 floors.
Right. And to get out.
And then to get out. So
yeah.
it would free falls are extremely rare in real life. The only way for a modern elevator to actually fall freely would be total mechanical failure of the governor and safety systems, and these combinations are so improbable that statistically you're far safer in an elevator than in a car. So
right.
There's one notable case. After B-25 bomber hit the building, an elevator, this is the Empire State Building in 1945.
My gosh.
An elevator fell 75 stories, but the broken cables coiled beneath the car and acted like a spring, cushioning the fall. The operator survived. This case is often cited to debunk fears of fatal free fall. So I asked also, I was like, okay, well, this was 30-something years ago. Maybe it was like the 1800s. 1853 is when the Elisha Otis safety brake came into being.
Oh, wow.
So
it's been around a while.
Yeah, so late 1800s is basically when they have these governors on them.
So there you go.
Boom.
So,
Bob's your uncle. As you like to say.
yeah, Bob's your uncle. So it's kind of sketchy that these 2 ATF agents came forward and said we were in the building. I don't know if they were like trying to, because it was sketchy that nobody was in the building. They came forward to go, no, I was in there.
Yeah.
I was in there. I fell 5 floors. I helped some people out. And then you got Oscar, which is a mechanic, going, I don't think so.
On his side, though, you could say, well, I felt like I fell 5 floors.
Yeah, if you just went kind of...
Yeah, like, oh, that was really scary. You're disoriented. There's a concussion from the blast.
But then how you getting out?
How you getting out?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Is like because he looked and saw the FEMA report, which the elevator he was actually in, or claimed he was in.
Yeah.
And he went and saw that elevator was no way you can get out of there because the floors were crushing the door.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a couple of things there. There's a lady by the name of Jane Graham. She worked in the building as vice president of the Federal Employees Union, and she also survived the bombing that day. She said that morning that she saw something she'd never seen before in the 10 plus years she'd been working there at this building. As she approached her husband dropped her off for work, and she went up to the entrance, as she always does. She saw two men in ATF jackets standing in the front, and they were chatting with another guy that was in like a regular business suit. He looked like he was just a businessman. She thought this was strange because the agents that worked in the building never identified themselves. Okay. Or they never wore anything that was identifiable to show that I'm an ATF agent. She's never seen this before in her 10 years.
They wouldn't wear like badges on lanyards or anything?
No, she said they looked like drug users and hippies. So I'm thinking almost maybe there was a lot of maybe informants or undercover people that was working in. She mentioned that they looked very casual, wasn't business-like at all. They looked like normal federal workers, is what she said. Yeah. So that was a little strange. That's an eyewitness testimony that she's never seen before. So, look, we're from the official story, we got a little strange stuff going on, little hokey stuff. Yeah. So, Tiffany Bible, she was a paramedic on the scene that day. She confirmed that the ATF was not in the office. So she confirmed this. In fact, she said they were aware of some type of threat that was going to happen this day prior to the bombing. In her affidavit, she stated that immediately after the bombing, she asked an ATF agent that was on the scene, because there were agents there when it blew up. They were on the ground. She said, was anybody in the building that worked for the ATF? He responded, no, we weren't in there today. And that the Murray building was bombed because of Waco. This is what the agent said.
20 minutes after the bombing.
Right. She further states that within the first 20 minutes of the bombing, she saw at least 8 ATF agents outside the building in clean black jumpsuits. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming it's those coveralls, the jumpsuits. Yeah. Clean black. To this day, the ATF has been unwilling to address their prior knowledge of the bombing. Okay. So they won't state if they knew it or not. But there was some shady stuff with that organization on the day of the bombing.
And this is like the first, I think it was 93 when they said that the internet could initially be used for commerce, I think is when that happened. And so when this bombing happened, the internet's very young.
Oh, very.
2 years. It's been around for a while.
Yeah, very young.
But you don't have
not
massive
networked
commerce.
like it is today.
We never have YouTube. We didn't have cell phones with cameras on them. We didn't have people sitting there recording it. So the fact that the imagery, the CCTVs in the area went down right before the blast, and then they could control the narrative pretty well, especially if they had mass media just being fed the story that nobody's on site,
right?
Yeah.
Anyway. Other theories that say the group behind the bombing could potentially have had links to the very top. That is President Bill Clinton. He was the president at this point in time.
He's been linked to a lot of shady crap.
Yeah, we've got a couple episodes. Yeah. One is the Clinton body count. So,
really? Yeah.
Yeah. It is suggested that he may have either known about the plot in advance and done nothing about it, or even ordered the whole operation in order to reflect badly on the militia movement McVeigh was accused of supporting. Although, of course, there's no evidence linking Clinton with the explosion. This would explain the supposed existence of the second device. But who better to install a secret bomb than government agents who are trained to do exactly that? Yeah. So if there was a secondary, surely Timothy McVeigh didn't get access to the building and plant these. Another theory is that foreign influences may have been behind the bombings. Nichols may have come into contact with the man behind the WTC bombings of '93. So World Trade Center not only had been taken down in, 2001? Yeah. There had been a bombing in 1993. So, there was a bombing here. The van rented, this is interesting, that bombed the World Trade Center was the same company used for the truck bombings. the same company.
Well, Ryder was a big. They were like U-Haul is now.
Yeah, I wonder.
So Ryder was a huge. I remember seeing those all over the place. I remember when we moved from Chicago to Kansas City, we used a Ryder van.
Oh, we did
our
too.
Stuff. So I mean, it.
Now I will tell you this: the Riders are a lot less comfortable than the U-Hauls.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
Because I was like,
I just remember seeing a big truck and thinking it was really cool. You know, riding a big old truck.
yeah, when we moved here from Alabama, we had so much stuff. We rented a truck, rented 2 trucks before we even moved, just with boxes.
Oh boy.
And then when we came with the whole family the second time, we had 3 trucks with all the furniture.
Jeez. Roll Tide.
Yeah, roll tide.
Roll Tide.
Although investigations repeatedly have been reopened into the tragedy as people stumbled across more evidence of a conspiracy behind the bombing, we'll never have a chance to ask McVeigh his side of the story because he was executed by lethal injection in 2001.
So if he admitted to it,
Yeah, he did say that.
what would the
Like you read. He said, I did this, and this is why I did it.
what would the government have on him that would force him to do that? You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
if
he
we're
was in
following the narrative,
He was
that
in the
it's-
Army.
Okay.
Let's use somebody that has anti-government views.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they'd have on him. Manchurian Candidate? Or maybe he was just playing a part.
Yeah, but he got killed for it. If he got killed for it,
That's true.
there's been so many times when people have been quote unquote assassinated, and then they're living in like Canada. Or
Oh,
something
no,
like that.
Argentina?
Yeah, something like that. So,
Oh my gosh.
but
Well, I guess if it's lethal injection, well, even though it's public, we have video. He could have been injected by some sleep drug and then taken off and shipped down to Argentina.
I mean,
I don't know.
You know, we do a lot of.
I don't know what they
We
could have
do a
had
lot of
on him.
episodes on, you know, like the mind control stuff and the.
Yeah, the MK Ultra,
MK Ultra and all that
Manchurian
stuff.
Candidate.
Wasn't Bill Clinton wasn't he the director of the CIA at some point?
I don't think so.
He wasn't.
That
No,
doesn't
okay.
sound right.
Okay. He had something to do with the CIA.
Did he really?
Let me look it up really quick.
Yeah. I just know he had sex with some lady in the Oval Office. Well, I don't know if he had sex. Do you get? I mean, if you have oral sex, is that still sex?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Should be. Do
It should
with
be.
the CIA.
Well, that is the.
Let's see. Hold on. Bill Clinton, like all U.S. presidents, had a significant interaction with the CIA during his presidency in 93 to 2001, but there's no credible evidence that he had direct involvement with the CIA before becoming president.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Yeah, so he didn't have any ties. But he does have that, the Clinton Foundation, which they make a lot of money. And it's funny how you have all these ties that you can give to people for, like, child trafficking, sex rings, all this, you know, just seedy stuff, but you can never get a direct line to them
yeah.
as far as evidence. And you know what I'm saying?
Well,
I
yeah.
can't get a direct
They're
line
smart
to
about that, yeah.
So you almost have to go, well, it seems plausible, but, you know, is it really?
Well, it's just like the RICO cases that we were talking about with, you know, taking down organized crime, you know, and, you know, say what you want about our political climate right now, or even in the past, but I feel like the people in power write the rules to make themselves immune to the rules. And it's just, I mean, you see this all the time, and then we're fed some line of horse crap, and then 30 years later we're debunking it, like stuff doesn't make sense, you know, there's questions, and then they're like, we don't know.
Yeah, and then nobody ever gets blamed for it.
Yeah, it smacks of the Las Vegas shooting. We should do an episode on the Las Vegas shooting.
I think we should. I heard that was a black.
And
hole.
again, if we do anything, we mean no disrespect to any of the victims of this bombing, people who did die during this. I mean, we're questioning the narrative. We're not questioning, you know.
Yeah, we're just questioning the weird stuff that was
the
going
thing
on.
you went through. I mean, Yeah.
Yeah, we should. I heard that the Las Vegas shooting was a black op.
And there's a lot of there's a
I
lot
heard
of
there
things
was
that don't make
there
sense.
was something specific in the crowd that they were going after, and this was just, even though they got a lot of people that got killed, there was somebody in there that they were actually having the target.
Well, it said automatic gunfire. Like, you hear it in the videos people are taking, because people were filming the concert, and you hear it, and it's like automatic gunfire. And there's like, okay, look, if I'm setting up to fire a bunch of stuff, I might have maybe 2 or 3 rifles with me in case one of the barrels melts down.
Yeah.
But I'm not having, 25, 30 guns in of all different types, and none of them being automatic. And then, like,
right,
you're bringing ammo, not more guns, right?
Yeah,
it makes more sense.
Yeah,
and
that whole thing was shady, dude.
And
you got him on camera coming into his room.
Yeah, and trajectory of the bullets and stuff like that doesn't make sense either. It looked like it was a much wider field of fire. Yeah, we're gonna have to do some research
we'll
into
do
that
one too. And didn't the FBI go to the wrong room, wrong floor?
I haven't heard.
Yeah, they came and got to the wrong floor.
Yeah,
tried to get to. It was just. It seemed like a mess.
Yeah,
to me.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, folks. We're gonna tie that one up. Oklahoma City bombing.
Didn't quite get to the bottom of that. We just raised more questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to the bottom of. I don't think those 2 ATF agents are telling the truth.
Yeah. Well, explain the elevator brakes to me then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys listening to the Oklahoma City bombing. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you visit our website. Also, our Patreon account.
Bottom of that.
Bottom of that is patreon.com/bottom of that.
Bottom of that.
And you can shuffle us some, $5 a month, $10 a month, or whatever you want to give.
Right now, we've only got one.
Oh, that's right. You got one tier.
I've been out of the country and planning for that. So as soon as I learn to turn on my computer again, I have to relearn every single time. We will get some more tiers set up, and we got some new hats in. They are really nice. They got our bottom of that logo on them. If you donate $10 a month, in that tier, we'll send you a hat. And if you want to send me a hat, so we've had a couple listeners send me hats. I put a new hat on every episode, and I'm purchasing these myself. But if you'd like me to,
because you're a hat
guy, I'm a hat guy.
So you're going to purchase it anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to purchase it anyway. But if you'd like to send me a hat, I will wear it on the show. And the address for that is P.O. Box 68, Peculiar, Missouri 64078. Include your name and what you want me to shout on the show, and your address in the box. I won't shout that out, but that way we could send you a hat. Yeah.
Amen. Don't forget the question of the week. What mythical creature has never been spotted in North America? Is it a Wendigo, a dragon, Loch Ness monster, or the Raguraru, however you say that? If you're listening on YouTube or Rumble and you like this episode, please do me a favor. Give me a like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment as well. This is going to get the algorithm to serve this content up to other people that like this type of content. If you didn't like this episode, I appreciate you hanging on this long. Tune in next week and you'll hear both of us say,